Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. This has become another horrific week for Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson. Polls show a clear majority of the public blames the Republicans for the government shutdown, and President Trump keeps undercutting Speaker Johnson. We will show you that in a moment, but first, adding to Johnson's problems, Democrats have unveiled an aggressive new tagline.
Well, the Trump administration and Mike Johnson are running a pedophile protection program. That's what they've been doing. And that's the reason why they refuse to swear in Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva. For weeks now.
So many weeks, in fact, that Grijalva has now set the record among special election victors for the longest swearing-in delay. Once she takes office, Grijalva will provide the 218 signature needed to force a House vote on releasing the Epstein files.
And Representative-elect Adelita Grijalva is unable to serve 800,000 plus people in the state of Arizona, all because of the pedophile protection program being run by Mike Johnson and House Republicans at the direction of their boss, Donald J. Trump.
The delay on the Epstein files vote keeps stepping on Johnson's effort to argue that Democrats are responsible for the government shutdown. But Johnson's messaging also keeps getting eclipsed by this. Donald Trump just had a great Gatsby party at Mar-a-Lago celebrating wealth and excess with 1920s-style costumes. Guests wore feathers and a burlesque dancer slithered in a giant martini glass. At the same time, headline, President Trump threatens to withhold food stamps until shutdown ends.
A split screen about the fact that the Trump administration is administering only part of the SNAP program while President Trump is having a Gatsby party at Mar-a-Lago.
I reject the premise of the question. Let me talk about SNAP. Okay. By the way, the president had an annual Halloween theme party every year at Mar-a-Lago. That's what he went back to, his obligatory tradition. I just discount what you're trying to do there.
What Johnson was doing there was almost breaking down. Here it is again.
I just discount what you're trying to do there.
What Donald Trump seems to be trying to do is to hold food stamps hostage. And on this day, Trump posted on his Truth Social, SNAP benefits, which increased by billions and billions of dollars, manyfold during crooked Joe Biden's disastrous term in office due to the fact that they were haphazardly handed to anyone for the asking, as opposed to just those in need, which is the real purpose of SNAP, will be given only when the radical left Democrats open up government. Hours later, Trump's White House press secretary Caroline Leavitt stepped up to the briefing room podium and tried to clarify, saying the Trump administration will comply with a court order to distribute the benefits.
Did the administration distribute that money or defy that court order?
No, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money.
So, on the one hand, President Trump says no benefits until Democrats do our bidding. On the other, Trump's spokesperson says, yes, benefits will go out per the court, it just may take some time. It's a bit of a contradiction, right? Here are the facts. SNAP is a lifeline for low-income Americans who need help putting food on the table. It's not some political toy.
Roughly 1 in 8 Americans rely on SNAP. More than half of recipients are children and the elderly. Other social safety net programs could also see funding lapses like WIC and Head Start.
The very idea of leveraging those benefits as negotiation chips during a government shutdown is what you might call bad form, or what many of us call obscene. And amidst the Trump White House contradictions and confusion, spokesperson Caroline Leavitt was asked repeatedly to clarify exactly what the Trump administration is doing.
I've now answered this question several times, Gabe. We are complying with the court's order. We are getting the payments out the door as quickly as we can. USDA sent the guidance to the state. The president is referring to future SNAP payments. He does not want to have to keep tapping in to an emergency fund and depleting it. In the case of a catastrophe in this country, he wants to have those funds preserved, as they should be.
So, future SNAP benefits could be in jeopardy, not the food stamps going out now. It is still confusing. However, Leavitt's statement does two things. First, she affirms compliance with the court's directive, and second, she places the delay and difficulties squarely on the Democrats. Translation? Yes, we'll do it, but you, the Democrats, are to blame for the mess. That is a classic pivot. Accept the mandate, shift the burden. The problem is, for the people waiting on assistance, the rhetorical shuffle and the verbal gymnastics do not cut it. The message to beneficiaries and anybody else who cares about human dignity is you need to call the Democrats, but also we're issuing the benefits. And many Americans are left wondering, who's in charge? What's really happening? With all of this, what's happening politically for Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson is a nightmare. The GOP messaging is chaotic, confusing, and contradictory. And even members of Donald Trump's cabinet are making Johnson look horrible. During the Speaker's news conference, Johnson was joined by Donald Trump's Agriculture Secretary, and she made a stunning admission about the Republican-led federal government.
My message to America is first, the fact that your government is failing you right now. If you are in a position where you can't feed your family and you're relying on that $187 a month for an average family in the SNAP program, that we have failed you.
The U.S. government, led by a Republican White House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican House, has failed you. All Speaker Johnson could do in that brief moment of truth was quietly nod and perhaps dream of being somewhere else, anywhere else. Johnson would do himself a favor if he would stop the messaging gymnastics and just do his job. For the sake of people waiting for their benefits, for the dignity of public service, and for the integrity of governance, bring the House back into session, swear in Adelita Grijalva, have that vote on the Epstein files, compromise with Democrats on health care, put the government back to work, and above all, stop the shameless political spin. Speaker Johnson, you are losing. You know it, the polls show it, and the American people deserve better than to be dragged deeper into the ditch that you and Donald Trump keep digging. By the way, Democratic voters just corrected and shamed a Fox News host to her face on live TV.
I think it should really be referred to as the Republicant Party, because all they talk about is what they can't do. They can't reopen the government. They can't find a way to feed poor people.
Wait a minute. You do understand that they gave a House passed, and you know one of the hardest places on the planet to get something passed is in the House.
Republicans really, they control all three branches of government. They own the shutdown. There's no question about it. And as far as immigration goes, I have a friend who is in the process of legally becoming a U.S. citizen. Mm-hmm. He has filed the right paperwork. He has gone to all the appointments. He's done everything he has to do. He is so terrified of being picked up and thrown in detention by ICE that he is basically just going back to Brazil. Yep. That is not where we should be.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Happy Banjo, who wrote, "Fox News hates facts and the truth." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about House Speaker Mike Johnson getting slammed over the Epstein files and pummeled by the Trump shutdown chaos. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.